I'm Shubble and welcome back to my channel. Today I thought it was time for another story time. Well, I have a couple, because these are much smaller stories. I'm running out of big stories. My best stories are the almost got arrested by Slenderman and the stairwell story. So the rest of the stories I might have might be little ones, so I'll probably put them together in one video. So this story time is going to be travel nightmares. Now I travel a lot. I've traveled by plane a lot. I've traveled by train, by bus, you name it. And something has gone wrong in all of these cases. So the first story I'm going to tell is when something went wrong on the train. I love the train. Probably one of my favorites. Although plane is pretty cool too. But train, you get to use your phone. But one time I was coming back from my sister who lives in Maryland, and I was supposed to get off at Newark Penn Station, which is just the train hub in New Jersey. So while I'm sitting on the train, I was paying a lot of attention because I'm always terrified of missing my stop. I had never done it before. You can see where this story's going. I'm too paranoid of it happening, so I'm just watching like a hawk. I won't listen to music when I know that my stop's going to be coming close because I want to make sure that I hear it. So I'm sitting there, minding my own business. I happened to have headphones in listening to music because I wasn't too worried. I was like, my stop's the next stop. I'm paying attention. Nothing can go wrong. Something went wrong. So while I'm sitting there, the train stopped. And in my head, I was thinking, oh, this is my stop. But then I got distracted by the worst thing that could have happened on a train, other than missing your stop. A woman and a man, like, blew by my seat. And while they were, like, in a rush past my seat, they snagged a suitcase from the overhead, and it was mine. And the train was pretty full this time, so people had their suitcases all over the place. They weren't really necessarily by their seat. So I thought, oh my god, did they just grab my suitcase? Or was that their suitcase because they put it over my seat? But it was red. My suitcase is red. That was my suitcase. I was sitting there contemplating getting up and causing what could have been a scene or just letting it happen. Like, part of me was like, do I just let it happen? Do I just rebuy all the things that are in that suitcase, including my laptop? I was definitely seriously considering it because I didn't want to get up. I just don't like interaction or confrontation. But I got up because it was my suitcase. I stopped the woman before she got off the train, and I was like, that's my suitcase. And she was like, are you sure? And I looked at it. It has my name on it, so I was like, yeah, I'm sure. She hands me the suitcase. She didn't really question it. She didn't bother to check. She didn't look at the name. She was just like, okay, you seem to know. And then she got off the train. She wasn't too concerned that the bag she took wasn't hers and that hers was somewhere else. She gave it back and got off the train. Homegirl was trying to steal my luggage. Now that I'm panicking and like really frantic and I'm like lugging my suitcase back to my seat, it's completely left my mind that we're stopped at my stop. When I get my suitcase back up in the overhead, the train starts to move again. And I sit down and I look out the window and I see the words Newark Penn Station as they slide away past the window. And I went into panic mode. The good thing about my train stop and my location in this country generally is that if I miss my stop, the next stop is New York Penn Station. And I live so close to New York, there were a million ways for me to get home. I could have taken a cab, an Uber, I could have gotten right back on a train, I could have walked to the bus station, taken a bus home, because I normally take the bus into the city. So I had a million options, but since I was in the train station already, I walked up to a window and I was like, I just missed my stop. How do I get back to New Jersey? They gave me a $5 ticket. I didn't want to sit there and cry and be like, I missed my stop because some woman tried to steal my bag. Because they probably would have just let me on the train and go home. But it was $5. I got back on the train and got back home. The downside to the amount of time that this wasted, which was about 40 minutes to an hour, by the time I got to Newark on the second train, the doors were closed. Newark Penn Station closes its front doors at around 11 o'clock. It was late at night when I was on this train. I always take late trains. And it was about, I think 11 o'clock is when they close the front gates. So you can't go out the front of the building. You have to go out the back. When you go out the back of the building, there's no way for cars to get there. So I'm walking out the back of the building. Unfortunately, there's a lot of people that sleep around the train station. So it wasn't a pleasant experience walking literally over people. It was the only way. I had to walk over people. I felt so terrible, but they were asleep. It was awful, and it kind of smelled like urine everywhere, but I got myself around the building to where my dad was, and it was... I will never take a train that late again. I know now what time those gates close at the front door, although my dad found a way to drive to the back of the building that he's not supposed to do, but what are you gonna do? The sad part was, when they do this, there were people who have never been to New York or New Jersey before. They were tourists or coming to visit. They've never been here. They got out the back of the building because they weren't allowed out the front, and they had no idea where to go. Like, what do? You don't know where to go. I helped them, but, like, if you're not from there and they send you out the back of Newark Penn Station, it's a nightmare back there. It's scary. So my next horror story took place on a plane. Not on a plane. Thank God. I don't have any horror stories actually on a plane in the air. Anything that's ever gone wrong in a plane has been while it was still on the ground. This was almost a nightmare. It wasn't that bad, but it was a terrible experience, and I will never take a flight that has a layover of 30 minutes ever again. I was flying to, I think it was Seattle, and I took a one stop because they were cheaper. And I had a layover, I can't remember where, it didn't matter where, but the layover was 30 minutes. I had 30 minutes to get from my gate to the other gate. And in this case, the other gate was on the other side of the airport. So I had to run. I was literally running. And they don't wait for you when they close the doors on a plane. So I was running. Literally, which is just something I imagine is hard to picture because I don't run. By the time I make it to the other gate, I notice there's no one sitting there. The seats are empty and there's no one at the door. There's no flight attendant. So I go to the gate next to it and I go up and I ask, I'm supposed to be on that plane. Did it board? And she said, oh no, they moved the gate. And the gate they moved it to was right next to the gate I had gotten off the first time. So I had to run back, and while running, I got a text from my flight saying, hey, we moved the gate. That wasn't that bad, but having to run across an airport, which airports are big, that was a lot of running I had to do, and I had to run all the way back because the text got to me so late. Oy, airport Wi-Fi is no good. Another, airplane little mishap when our plane was broken, so we had to get off and onto a new one, but they couldn't find the new one. This was an ordeal that took place in London. This is when I was in high school. We took a trip to Italy, but we had a layover in London. Thank God I was with a group of people, though, because if I had to do that by myself, I would have cried. But we had to get off our first plane because there was something wrong with it. I don't know what. I didn't ask. I didn't care. They say something's wrong, I'm off. And we had to wait for the new plane. By the time the new plane was apparently arranged, we were all lined up by the gate, and then they were like, we can't find it. How do you lose a plane? They're not small. It's not like losing an earring. Eventually they found it. It took us a little while, but that was, at least the problem didn't happen in the air. The last nightmare travel story I have, I mean, traveling's never pleasant. I love being on planes and trains, but the act of get onto the plane, get to your gate, and then wait, that's all a nightmare, always. Once you're on whatever you're supposed to be on, it's a breeze. But not in this case. I took a train. I was trying to save money. I was supposed to fly to Chicago to see some friends. I decided to save some money and take a train. Mind you, a train from New Jersey to Chicago is 20+ hours. Never do that. You think it'll be fine, you'll think you sleep most of the way, and you just play games, recline your chair, and they have a cafe cart so you can get breakfast and coffee and drinks and alcohol. But no, it is not that nice. It is not what you would imagine. It is torture. And I was sitting on this 20-hour train ride with someone I hate. I didn't hate them yet. At that point in time, that was my first boyfriend. But that was the most miserable 20 hours of my entire life. For me to get to Chicago and have the most miserable 9 days of my life to then come home. Single. So those are my travel nightmares. If you enjoyed watching, leave a like. Let me know if you want more story times, anything relating to anything. I'm a relatable person, I'm told on Twitter. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.